Now at 9, Jasper County authorities surround a house following a high-speed chase that began in Kansas.
The Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County just got a new location. I'm Anthony Saviello, and I'll be talking about how this new building not only benefits students and kids, but community members as well.
And ground is broken on a new fire station building at the Joplin Regional Airport.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County can now boast a new facility. KOAM's Anthony Saviello tells us why this is not only a big step for the kids in that area, but for the community as well.
What used to be a convenience store in the town of Fairland now lies empty and out of use. At least it did, until Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County stepped in.
We've been in the process of identifying a new location for our Fairland kids, and in that process we were able to secure some funding through Cherokee Nation to make a purchase. And so that is this new building that we just purchased here in Fairland, the former Family Dollar building that will eventually become our new Boys and Girls Club.
The 8,500 square foot building will now be the go-to after-school destination and provide the necessary child care many parents depend on.
They just have so many opportunities. You know, you want your kids to grow and learn, and that's what they do here. So that's it's a perfect place for kids to come.
It's not just the building that's going to get converted into a club. This parking lot behind me is sure to make a great basketball court and green space once they get it up and running.
The facility is the 5th location for Boys and Girls Club in Ottawa County. It obviously needs some work, but McKinsey says when it comes to the remodel, the kids get a say.
We've really incorporated the kids into the design process. We want to know what they want. And so we've been able to talk to them and say what's important in your Boys and Girls Club. And things like games rooms and video games and sports areas are important to them, but also calming spaces like libraries and reading spaces have been their priority as well.
As a parent, Ashley says she's excited for what the new space will provide for her children.
You know, just the larger space and availability of activities and stuff, and also the summer program is a big one for me, to be able to send my kids here in the summer and have them, they enjoy it, they love it, they don't want to come home when it's time to pick them up.
Reporting in Ottawa County, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
The new facility is set to begin remodeling in the coming weeks, and the plan is to be open by August of this year. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a warmer day for us today. Temperatures, they warmed up into the mid to upper 60s across the region, which was nice to see. 57 in Joplin, 54 is where we stand in Pittsburgh right now. We are waiting to get some thunderstorms later on tonight. Currently, we're sitting mainly mid to upper 50s. We're not going to drop off too much more tonight. We do have some clouds, which are starting to thicken up across the region. Any showers staying to our north across northern parts of Missouri. But late tonight, we're talking after 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to get scattered thunderstorms pushing through, and then a secondary batch gets going by the time you get up in the morning, and then it's periods of showers and thunderstorms as we go through the morning hours for us tomorrow. So we are going to see some big changes moving in as we go through the overnight hours tonight. We're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. It is a National Severe Weather Preparedness Week, and the Pitt State Campus Police Department is making sure students have a plan. The department and school public safety office today hosted 2 training sessions. One was geared towards students and community members, the other for first responders. They focused on what to do to be prepared for severe weather and helping first responders understand how best to help when it strikes.
Good community awareness. We recognize the fact that a lot of our students on campus, some of them are from parts of the country that don't experience tornadoes or Midwest severe weather, and even parts of the world that have never heard that. So I'm thinking about international students and faculty and staff.
Both trainings featured presentations by the National Weather Service. A chase in Cherokee County, Kansas leads to a manhunt in Jasper County, Missouri, all in connection with a stabbing death. Law officers this afternoon surrounded a property on the 1100 block of West Malang Road, west of Joplin. They eventually used a battering ram on their tactical vehicle to enter the building. They also searched outbuildings but did not find anyone. This all began with a car chase in Cherokee County, Kansas around noon today, reaching speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. Authorities say that chase was connected with the weekend stabbing death of a Carl Junction man, Seth Langford. The car crossed into Jasper County, Missouri, and officers lost it near 7th and Malang, but found it abandoned behind the home. Now, we don't know specifically who authorities were chasing, but we do know they have been seeking these two men in the case. Scott Burleson of Wyandotte, Oklahoma, was considered a suspect in the stabbing death. Paul Phillips of Seneca, Missouri, was considered a person of interest. Authorities in McDonald County, Missouri, arrested an Oklahoma man wanted by multiple agencies for months. They say Samuel Huddleston of Grove stole a vehicle just outside of Southwest city limits. He is also wanted by Delaware County, Oklahoma authorities for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and by the Cherokee Nation for child abuse and assault with a deadly weapon, among other charges stemming back to 2023. Law enforcement arrested him yesterday and recovered the stolen vehicle. The Joplin Police Department today announced the results of its youth alcohol compliance checks at local retailers. Of the 29 locations checked, 9 were found to be non-compliant and sold alcohol to minors under the supervision of the JPD. You can find the full list of businesses found in compliance and not in compliance on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the Joplin Regional Airport is starting to build a new aircraft rescue and firefighting building. KOAM's Amber Jenkins explains why it's needed.
The Joplin Regional Airport is moving forward with establishing a new aircraft rescue and firefighting building. It will house 2 ARFF trucks.
It's been in our airport plan for several years. Across the field, you can see our current one's a very small building with 2 bays in it. Our 2 ARFF trucks, although they fit, they barely fit, and so we are in dire need of new facilities.
The current building sits at the south end of the airport. The new one will be near the control tower, saving about 2 minutes of reaction time to emergencies, according to the airport officials.
In fact, we have a mandated time limit to react to any incident on field. So this facility here, being centrally located, will have the ability to react much quicker to anything that happens on the field than where we are now.
The FAA Airport Improvement Plan program is paying for most of the project. The program provides funding to help airport upgrades to meet regulations.
$8.5 million building, only about 5% is paid for by the airport directly. All of the rest is federal money to put this beautiful new facility in place here at the airport.
The airport board sees the new building as a sign of growth as they brainstorm new opportunities.
What else can we do? What else can we do to help general aviation? We have strong general aviation here, but we'd like to see more.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
The airport's snow removal equipment will also be housed in the new building. Coming up, what health experts are saying about a rise in lung cancer cases among non-smokers. The CDC says cigarette smoking is the #1 risk factor for lung cancer. However, health experts say an increase in non-smokers developing lung cancer is cause for alarm. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at what could be contributing to an increase in cases and how you can help keep you and your loved ones safe.
You may not be surprised that cigarette smokers are 15 to 30 times more likely to get lung cancer than those who don't smoke, according to the CDC. But an uptick in new lung cancer cases among non-smokers is putting health experts on high alert.
We're finding now 15 or 20% of all lung cancers are occurring in people who've done everything right. They've never smoked, they've exercised, they've eaten right, and they still get lung cancer.
The potential culprit? Long-term exposure to radon gas.
It's thought to be the #1 cause of lung cancer in never smokers.
Radon gas has no odor or color and could be lurking in homes, schools, businesses, and more.
Radon is a product of decomposition of radioactive things in the soil, which then percolates up through the soil and tends to concentrate in people's basements and from there throughout the house. And when people breathe it in, that's when the radon causes the damage to your lung, which can lead to lung cancer.
Because radon's effects on your lungs can take decades to result in the disease, you could be suffering in silence. A growing number of doctors suggest testing your home for elevated levels of the gas. And because early detection can save lives, don't wait to have your lungs x-rayed if you have symptoms that aren't going away with treatment.
If you detect lung cancer when it's restricted to a small nodule in the lung, then stage 1, the cure rate can be 90 or 95%.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And scientists say they've learned new information about the dangers of smoking while pregnant. Researchers at the Hsinchu University School of Medicine used an AI program to analyze mice and found exposure to nicotine increased the risk of autism and ADHD in newborns. Smoking while pregnant has previously been linked to infant mortality and low body weight. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Missouri Southern kicks off the MIAA tournament, taking on Missouri Western. We'll have the highlights.
Well, of course, not a bad day for us today. Warmer than what we have seen over the past couple days, which is nice. And it looks like temperatures overall, they're going to stay fine, but we are going to see rain chances, which are really going to be increasing. Looking outside, nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. Of course, we're looking downtown, northeast, through downtown. All right, temps. Most of us still mid to upper 50s. Case in point, 54 in Welch, Anderson, Bella Vista, 58, 9, 55 in Lamar. Pittsburgh is sitting at 54. Let's go outside. Here's 7th. Here's range line, 57 east. Southeasterly winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we are going to get thunderstorms, which will start popping up later on tonight and then again tomorrow afternoon. Our severe threat's very low. We're a level 1 out of 5. But I do think we'll get some stronger storms, so we may get some small hail embedded in some of these storms. I'm going to keep all of the threats low, but we're kind of talking 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then again 8 p.m. till about 2 a.m. on Friday morning. Nothing going on so far. We just have some clouds increasing, especially in the southern half of the 4-state area. Some showers up across northern parts of Missouri. Besides that, we look okay. Here's the main system. It's still way out in southern parts of California. If you look at the upper level winds, you can see them spinning around the upper level low, and that's going to head toward us as we go through the next couple days. So rain chances, they go way up late tonight. Here's 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m., periods of scattered showers and thunderstorms. Let me walk you through. All right, later on tonight, here's 2:30 in the morning. Scattered thunderstorms starting to pop up, pushing east. Most of these will affect southwestern Missouri, but it could be kind of loud. As we go through the morning, more thunderstorms explode and drive in. Here's 9 a.m. Again, some of these storms are going to be strong, containing some small hail across the region, so something we want to keep our eyes on. Thunderstorms continue to rotate through during the morning hours, so we're about the noon hour, and then we get a little bit of a lull as we get into the afternoon. But we're going to have to watch thunderstorms back to the west tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. You can see a band trying to develop and then drive through tomorrow night. Some of those guys could be on the strong side as well. And then most of these are out of here by Friday morning. But once we get into Friday afternoon, we just kind of settle in to periods of showers and a few thunderstorms, especially along and south of I-44. All this will slowly come to an end Friday night. We may even end with a couple little snow showers across the region. Potential rainfall, we need the rain. A lot of areas are going to pick up 1, 2, maybe some isolated 3-inch amounts across the region. 63 tomorrow, periods of storms. 61 on Friday, periods of showers and thunderstorms. Quite a bit cooler Saturday, high temp of only 52. And don't forget the clocks. They move forward 1 hour. Yeah. So we lose an hour of sleep, but it won't be dark until about 8 p.m.
So it has the pros and cons.
Yeah.
You feel like there's more daylight even though you lose that hour of sleep.
True.
Initially.
But like I told Dow earlier, we gained a day back in February. So
we did. This year we did.
Yep. So there you go.
I'm ready for longer days.
Me too. I can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Yep.
It'll still be dark by the time we leave, though.
Sadly.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, concerns about Chinese spyware.
Congress is pushing back against the parent company of the popular app TikTok. I'm Connor Hansen with what lawmakers are demanding coming up.
A bipartisan group of lawmakers wants to force big changes to the social media giant TikTok. They say the Chinese government could be harvesting personal data from millions of Americans. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more from New York.
10 Republicans and 10 Democrats have come together with a bill that aims to separate TikTok from its Chinese parent company, ByteDance.
The Chinese Communist Party and its leader, Xi Jinping, have their hands deep in the inner workings of the company, with devastating consequences for our own personal freedoms.
I certainly think it's a dangerous app that can influence with Chinese propaganda our population, should the CCP want to do that.
The bill's backers say this is not a ban on the popular app, but it basically is. It would prevent American app stores from carrying it if it stays under the current ownership. But the company and some lawmakers say forcing the separation is government overreach. And past attempts to ban TikTok have been challenged in the courts.
I'm not in favor of banning it.
The White House supports the bill, but some have criticized President Biden's campaign for joining TikTok.
TikTok is banned on federal government devices for federal government employees. Now, I'm sure the president will say, oh, the president doesn't have it on a federal device.
As the general election nears, some lawmakers worry China has already used TikTok to influence elections in other countries.
We were in Taiwan last week.
Good point.
And the Taiwanese elections were heavily interfered with by the CCP. And what was the vehicle? TikTok.
Lawmakers seem to be trying to fast-track the bill. If it's passed, ByteDance would have 6 months to divest itself from TikTok. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, the Federal Reserve is in no rush to cut interest rates. That's according to Fed Chair Jerome Powell's written testimony submitted to congressional lawmakers. The sentiment means more pain for Americans who have already faced almost 2 years of elevated borrowing costs on everything from car loans to mortgages. Up next, how a library in Massachusetts is giving people another cuter option to clear their account of late fees. A public library in Massachusetts is accepting cat photos instead of fees for lost or damaged books this month. Now, we're not kidding you. It's part of Worcester Public Library's March Meowness. A photo or even a drawing of any cat erases fines. And in the first 5 days of the month, 400 accounts were cleared. The idea started when the library task force noticed a lot of younger patrons had fees dating back to the start of the pandemic. And they didn't want those people to stop using the library because of the fines. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Pittsburgh State and KCU Joplin announce a new partnership for medical students. Plus, a Joe Biden-Donald Trump rematch looks even more likely as the top Republican challenger drops out of the race.
Watch News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Pittsburgh State University and Kansas City University Joplin announced a new partnership. The Accelerated Medical Path undergraduate program will save 1 full year of tuition and fees for students, allowing them to get into the workforce 1 year earlier. The program provides PSU students automatic interviews to KCU, the medical school. KOAM's Fernanda Silva was at their press conference today and has the details.
I am so excited. I love working with our students. We have some tremendous students on campus that are involved in so many different activities, as well as they're intelligent and they're driven.
The reason for this mouse in the Bicknell Family Center for the Arts hallway and for Professor of Biology Mandy Peak Bryan's excitement is a new PSU program in partnership with Kansas City University Joplin.
Students will have 3 years at Pitt State. Following the 3 years completion of those requirements, then they will matriculate into KCU. After they complete that first year of medical or dental school at KCU, then they'll transfer those credits back to Pitt and they will receive a bachelor's degree.
After that, students will continue with their medical path. High school seniors and students who have not yet completed their first semester at PSU can apply to the program.
The stats that's out there, a lot of times students stay around where they get those degrees, so we're hoping that this becomes a means of us increasing the numbers that we have in the area.
AMP UP students will have the chance to complete their clinical education in our local communities, serving friends and neighbors, and participate in world-class research opportunities, which will enhance their future careers as practicing physicians and dentists.
PSU hopes to have the first cohort in the fall.
I look forward to hopefully recruiting even more of those fantastic students to Pittsburgh State University.
In Pittsburgh, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to PSU, the cohort will include up to 35 students per year, 25 students interested in going into medical school, and 10 interested in going into dental school. Awesome. Well, business in Pittsburgh rises to the occasion when it comes to feeding the community of Southeast Kansas. Toast launched a program in November called Spread the Loaf. The program has already helped more than 500 people. Not only does the program help individuals in Southeast Kansas, but locally sourced bread also benefits area businesses. The Crawford County Historical Museum hopes to hook the public with its new group. The Open Hooking with Hooks and Loops group began today. Rug hooking is a simple art craft that can be used for a table mat, wall hanging, or a small floor rug. The craft dates back to the 1800s, but still has uses today.
We think it's important that we bring back the lifestyles and the crafts that were done in the colonial all the way through the 1800s. Particularly because it's a recycling type of craft and they reuse things that normally would be thrown away now.
The newly formed group was open for the public to come observe and learn about the craft. Well, with Nikki Haley ending her presidential campaign today, a Donald Trump-Joe Biden rematch is nearly guaranteed in November. Every national poll shows an extremely tight race between the two, and President Biden's campaign is signaling an attack dog approach. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor explains.
From a below freezing start in Iowa to millions of votes cast on Super Tuesday, it's safe to say the presidential primaries are wrapped up. Donald Trump and Joe Biden have nearly secured their party's nominations, setting up a historic rematch in November.
This has been a day that we've been waiting for.
After Trump won 14 out of 15 states Tuesday, his last standing challenger, Nikki Haley, officially dropped out Wednesday morning.
I congratulate him and wish him well. I wish anyone well who would be America's president.
Biden's campaign is already trying to lure Haley supporters to their side and signaling they're getting ready to ramp up their attacks on Trump. With the president tweeting, MAGA extremism is a threat to this country.
If you agreed with Nikki Haley when she stood up to Trump for things like election denialism or the chaos and division that he represents, there is in fact going to be a home for them in Joe Biden's campaign.
Recent national polls show a tight race between Biden and Trump. And new Fox News power rankings give Trump the edge in presumed electoral votes. With 8 months to go until Election Day, the political pundits agree the claws are coming out.
Make no mistake, the next 8 months will be the Biden campaign saying the other guy is totally unacceptable, and the Trump campaign basically making the mirror argument. So it's going to be a brutally negative campaign.
This will be the first presidential race between two men who've already held the office since Theodore Roosevelt ran against William Taft back in 1912. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Getting back on track. A bit later, how parents as well as teachers can help students improve their reading levels.
Well, of course, a chilly day yesterday. Today, we started to warm back up just a bit as we did go into the mid-60s for highs, which is great. But we do have thunderstorms, which will start to affect us here in a few hours. So we're going to have rounds of thunderstorms late tonight and then through the morning hours. Another batch late tomorrow. We do have a very low risk of severe weather, a level 1 out of 5, which is pretty low. So we're kind of talking mainly some stronger storms, maybe some small hail across the region. 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow, and then again 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday morning. But I'm going to keep all the threats on the low side. I really just think these are going to be strong thunderstorms. All right, clouds increasing. Nothing going on out there as of yet, but the clouds will continue to pick up. Main system is way out to the southwest. Down across southern parts of Oklahoma, you can see the upper level low, the spinning, the counterclockwise rotation. This is going to shoot toward us over the next 48 hours, so our rain chances go way up. So look at this. Here's 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 11 a.m., 2 p.m., 5 p.m. So we're going to have periods of showers and thunderstorms. It's March, spring months. We definitely need it. Scattered thunderstorms pop up. Here's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. These are going to drive east, but some strong storms from the metro east late tonight. So you may hear some thunder and lightning. I guess you'll see the lightning. As we go into Thursday morning, another batch of showers and thunderstorms. Bigger batch, again, some stronger storms push through, and then mainly out of here early afternoon. A little bit of a lull. Then we've got to watch late tomorrow evening into tomorrow night. More thunderstorms fire up and drive in throughout the overnight hours tomorrow night into Friday morning. Another little lull, and then just kind of showers, periods of rain on Friday, mainly the metro south. We could even get a few little snow showers trying to mix in before all this is done Friday night and into Saturday morning, and then cooling down, but clearing out just in time for the weekend. How much rain could we get? We got to see where those heavier bands set up. A lot of areas are going to pick up 1, 2, maybe isolated 3-inch amounts, which we definitely need. But rain definitely in the morning, and then scattered thunderstorms in the afternoon. A little bit of sunshine should pop us up to about 63 degrees. Now, once we get rid of this system, we do cool down for the weekend, but we do clear out. But look at our highs, only right around 50, 52 on Saturday afternoon. But once we go into Sunday, we start to warm things back up a little bit as we get into lower 60s for highs. All right, thunderstorms late tonight. Periods of storms through the morning hours. High temps 63, 61 on Friday. Cooling down on Saturday. Of course, the clocks, they move forward 1 hour late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, 2 to 3 a.m. But again, the sun sets later. And then a couple nice days, Monday and Tuesday, back near 70 thunderstorms again by the middle part of next week.
Kind of warmer in the middle of the week and cooler on the weekends 2 times
Yeah,
now.
but the past 2 weekends have been really warm.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like the cool down on the weekends.
it's fine.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, 5 of our local high school basketball teams play at state. Plus, Missouri Southern men's basketball opens up the 2024 MIAA tournament. John Dales has those highlights and more up next.
March is here, and that means every college basketball game takes on more and more importance. Tonight in Kansas City, Missouri Southern men's hoops open up MIAA tournament play. We start the opening round of the MIAA tournament with Missouri Southern taking on Missouri Western. Early minutes, Darius Dawson gets things started as he throws the hammer down. A few possessions later, Dawson almost throws it away, but Winston Desisau picks it up. He finishes the layup. Western leads by 4 though. Griffin started to create separation at the end of the half. J.C. Anthony throws down this two-handed dunk. Western leads by 8 at the break. Second half, Lions look to get back into it. Winston Desisau drains the three-pointer. Southern within 5, but Western was just too much. Tay Fields finishes off the glass. Then Keani Saxon delivers the knockout blow with that two-handed dunk. Missouri Western defeats Missouri Southern 62-56. The Lions season comes to an end with a 13-16 record.
Tough night. Just didn't shoot the ball very well. I thought we got some good shots, especially around the rim, and then we just missed some open shots on the perimeter as well. Thought our guys played extremely hard, tough, and that's a good team. So credit to them for their defense, and they're a talented team, and I think their length bothered us around the basket.
Tonight's state tournament play begins for 4 of our local high school basketball teams throughout southeast Kansas. We start on the boys' side. Riverton basketball making its first appearance at state in nearly 10 years. The Rams fall to Goodland in the quarterfinals, 68-48. Their trip to state is short-lived, but Riverton finishes the season with a 17-7 record as sub-state champions. To the girls, Class 4A state tournament The Lady Tigers advance to the Final Four. Fort Scott takes down Clearwater by 22 points in their semifinal. Their next contest is Friday night. They're guaranteed 2 more games no matter what. If the Lady Tigers win their next one, they play for a state title Saturday. If not, they'll be in the 3rd place game. In that semifinal game, the Lady Tigers will face Bishop Miege. That's because the Stags take down Labette County in the quarterfinals tonight, 68-33. The loss ends the Grizzlies' season. Labette finishes 2023-24 with a 16-7 record. The season marked their 3rd trip to state in the past 4 years. Lastly, in Class 2A, Colgan girls basketball keeps its undefeated record intact, and the Lady Panthers move on to the Final Four. They beat Eureka 66-50 in the quarterfinals. This comes on the same night the other unbeaten team in Class 2A loses. That's 1 seed Leoti. Colgan plays at its semifinal Friday night at 6. Switching gears over to Missouri, in Columbia, Liberal girls basketball is making its first appearance in the Final Four in school history. The Lady Bulldogs fall in the semifinals, 55-25 to South Nottoway Platte Valley. Their season isn't over yet, though. Liberal plays Delta in the 3rd place game. That's tomorrow afternoon at 2. We'll have complete highlights, post-game reaction from that contest tomorrow evening. So you get this late in the season, obviously, you're going to have a lot of teams having their season come to an end, but we do have 2 teams that are in the Final Four now.
It's kind of sad when you make it this far. You know you've had a great season, you have a great team, you're doing awesome, but unless you win it all, you're going to end on a loss.
That's true. Yeah.
But congratulations to the ones that are still going.
Of course.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be back with more news after this. The SAT exam is now fully online. U.S. test takers will now be able to digitally access the test using a computer rather than filling out bubble and answer sheets. Those taking the exam will have to take the test in person, but will be allowed to use their personal tablet or laptop. The exam is also said to be shorter, cut down to around 2 hours instead of 3. Students should also receive their scores in a matter of days as opposed to weeks. Learning to read is an important part of childhood development, but as students continue working to make up for learning gaps ushered in by the pandemic, academic professionals say most kids could do with some improvements to their reading levels. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen takes a look at how not just teachers, but parents can play an active role in improving reading proficiency.
While many young kids are still trying to claw back from setbacks to their reading proficiency triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic, data from the National Assessment of Educational Progress reveals reading levels over the last 2 decades have mostly remained flat.
There's always room for improvement. We have most of the children not necessarily reading at levels of proficiency that we'd like to see.
Academic experts from across the country are trying to implement different strategies to combat the problem, with education officials in Georgia, for instance, looking to send literacy coaches into low-performing schools.
We always say universal screeners wave the red flag. Coaches can help by providing demonstration lessons, walking side by side with the teacher.
But Shane Piasta of The Ohio State University says when it comes to helping kids learn to read, parents are usually their first teachers. Adding it's critical kids are surrounded with a variety of literacy materials inside the home.
Whether those are children's books, adult books, magazines, newspapers in the house, seeing your grocery list.
To help bolster a child's reading levels, Piasta also recommends focusing on these skills in particular.
Being able to understand that print on the page is connected to sound.
Meanwhile, having conversations with your kids can help expand their vocabulary, and that can also help strengthen their reading abilities. Connor Hansen, Fox News.
A popular film from 2003 gets a sequel, and a boy band has new music. That's coming up in a throwback edition of Hollywood Nation. A classic 2003 body swap film gets a sequel, and an iconic pop group releases new music and more. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with all the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Nyong'o leads, Latifah MCs, and Lohan confirms in the Hollywood Nation.
Oh, I'm like the Crypt Keeper!
Lindsay Lohan will reunite with Jamie Lee Curtis on screen. Lohan confirmed on Andy Cohen's SiriusXM show that a sequel to their 2003 film Freaky Friday is officially in the works, with both stars set to return. Queen Latifah will celebrate and honor Black excellence in TV, recording, literature, and motion pictures for a second year in a row. The legendary artist and actor is hosting the 55th NAACP Image Awards. The ceremony will recognize poet Amanda Gorman with the Chairman's Award and fashion icon June Ambrose with the Vanguard Award. The show airs live on BET and CBS March 16th. New Kids on the Block is back with new music. The pop icons announced their first new album in 11 years, Still Kids, will be out May 17th. They also released the lead single Kids along with the music video. The group will celebrate the new record and classic hits on their upcoming Magic Summer 2024 tour, kicking off on June 14th. DreamWorks Animation and Universal Pictures shared a first look at The Wild Robot. The animated film centers on a bot named Roz, shipwrecked on an uninhabited island where it develops relationships with the animals and becomes the adoptive parent of an orphaned baby goose. Lupita Nyong'o leads the voice cast, which also includes Pedro Pascal and Mark Hamill. The film opens in theaters September 20th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Looking forward to that New Kids on the Block album. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby porcupine at a zoo in England. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.